Hi guys, Chris here, back with the Pocophone F1. So there's been a lot of comments on this phone here. Now I've been using it for 3 days. I wanted to go over a couple of things, but first up is the screen bleed issue that some people seem to be making it into a massive issue. Yes, there is the screen bleed. I pointed it out in my videos. I feel for the price that, okay, yeah, it's there. It shouldn't be there. If it wasn't there, that would be much better. And the same goes for the notch, as I pointed out. It is a very tall notch. I feel that if Xiaomi could have gone for perhaps an 18:9 aspect ratio IPS panel, and maybe a higher quality one, that would have been the way to go. But with that screen bleed, you really do notice it. You can see that it is actually lighter just around the bottom here. Now, some people may have this to a different degree. It may actually be worse on their units, but I feel for the price of the phone that, yeah, it really depends on how picky you are. You can see at the top, it's not so bad. You're not getting it as bad there. It's just really the bottom that it stands out. But for some people, this may be a deal breaker. I know someone commented and said it doesn't have a multicolored status LED. Deal breaker, won't buy the phone, even though it's a Snapdragon 845 at only about $350 US. One other thing that I did mention at the end in the cons that I'm still noticing some of that full screen gesture lag. It's there on my Mi Max 3. They've pretty much almost killed it off on the Redmi Note 5. And what happens is that when you first log in and then you go to the apps drawer, so you'll swipe up, you would see a bit of stutter, a bit of animation stutter and lag just now and then, or when you go through into something like recent apps, it's there. Now, I can't capture it on camera at the moment. I have been trying, but it's just now and then. Out of every, imagine, 8 times or 10 times you unlock the phone, you may see it 2 or 3 times, just a little bit of stutter that, considering the spec of this phone, that should not even be there. I just think it's software optimization. That also then brings me to the face unlocking, that most of the time you can see it's really fast and it works well. I have noticed though, it really does struggle a little bit in direct sunlight. So when you're outside and you unlock the phone, a couple of times I've gone to look at it and you just see that it does that. It just say can't recognize you. You keep looking at it. Now, why it's not working at the moment, I've got a tripod in the way, I've got the camera, and I have my microphone and all that. That's why that's happening. So face unlocking, it really depends. I have got it to record and capture my face again, and I found that that has improved things, but it's not 10 out of 10 times. Now, that fingerprint reader on the rear, this is like any Xiaomi phone, basically, that it's always on and it always works. It's 10 out of 10 times. That is really fast, and most of the time, when it doesn't work, I just use that when I'm out in the daylight, for example. Direct sunlight is when it has an issue with the face unlocking. And then because now I've been using the phone 3 days, this is my 3rd battery cycle, and the battery life is, okay, it's a little bit off from my estimate. In my unboxing and basically the review of the phone, I said 12 hours. So in my heavy test, I managed to get 11 hours and 9 minutes, you can see there. And that's actually really good considering what I was doing. A lot of YouTube 1080p streaming, and I also did a lot of gaming, very heavy use, kept the screen on most of the time. You'll see here, so YouTube, that was running for almost 2 hours. Some of these stats, by the way, they're not actually correct. Revolution, I was playing that for about 2 hours, but it only says about an hour and a half there. PUBG, also for an hour. Realistically, it was more than an hour. And here we have Shadow Fight 3 as well that I was playing. So you can see that is demanding use. And one of my other little minor gripes here, nitpicking, well, not really actually, is that notch. So you can see how it gets in the way completely. In fact, I can't touch anything there. That's blocking that off. So if you hold the phone this way with the notch on the left when you're in landscape mode, of course, you're going to have to flip it around. And then I can access what was there before that the notch was blocking. So I can't even go to the cart now. I can barely click it. I only just touch that there because of the excessively tall notch, and then those rounded corners as well aren't the greatest. So the worst feature of this phone, and yes, it's been a little bit picky, I know, for the price of this phone, is the screen. It's not the greatest. Those rounded corners, the notch, slight bleed, not the brightest screen either. That is really the only real issue with this phone. So if you don't demand the absolute best super premium screen quality, and if around about 480 lux is fine for you and the things that I pointed out, then this is a definite phone to go to. It's a no-brainer to buy this for the spec and selling for around, what is it now, about 350. And remember, as time goes by, the price on this will eventually start to drop. And even next year when the Snapdragon 855 or whatever they're going to call it comes out, then this will be even cheaper. It'll probably be selling then for about $280 US in about a year's time when everyone is looking to the latest generation of chipsets. So overall, I do like this phone. I think it's great. If I do encounter any problems or anything else, then I will post another video on it. And thank you everyone that has checked out the first video. Make sure you do check that out. And I hope to catch you back in the channel with more up and coming videos on mobile phones, laptops, mini PCs, you name it.